Bhagavan explained to Arjun that all that exists and the activities of this sansar, which defined as karmarahati, are all due to me or my Shakti. So whatever happens in sansar is called karmarahati. Just like rahat, where the water wheel goes around and around and picks up the water in bucket and dumps it. Same way, we earn some karmas and then they are emptied out as we experience their phal. So this is a karmarahati and keeps going on and on and on non-stop. And these include all karma and their phal, actions and their fruit. In chapter 4, slok 14, Bhagavan told Arjun that I am not affected by karma. Namami karmani limpanti. He is not in karmarahati, so he is not affected by it. And I have no thirst for their fruit. He doesn't need anything. Parmeshwar has everything. He is Atma Kami. He is by himself. He's got everything. So he doesn't need anything. So he says, Name karma phale spraha. So it is the thirst or the desire for the fruit of the karma which drives one to engage in it, and it is this desire for the fruit which results in karma lep. Once you do a karma, it's etched on your Atma Sarup. And that's there till you come back again and get the fruit of it and then finish it off. Whatever you owed, you got to pay off now. So this is called karma lep. Lep means you just put like you put a lep on something, dirt or mud or something, so it's karma lep. So the pure Atma this way becomes dirty due to lep. So every time we do certain karma, which have our desire, our attachment to it, then Devata puts a lep on our Sarup, and we are that much more dirty because we owe more and more and more. We have to come back and repay the debt. So Bhagavan said that all this is because of me, and he explained that I am also the Gati. Gati means I am where every jeev has to eventually go. Bharta, Prabhu, Sakshi, Nivas, Sharanam, and Suhrat of jeev. Suhrat means he is the well-wisher. In his heart, there is always good for jeev. No ill feeling and nothing. He also said that he is behind the creation, dissolution of the sansar. Both of them, he is behind it. He set the rule and he says when the creation is to start and when the dissolution has to take place. Him being all this, humans do not worship him or perform his bhakti. Most people, very few people do his bhakti. The primary reason for this is explained in this next shlok.
Traividya mam somapah putapapa yajñairištva swargatim prarthayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan.
Traividya. The knowers of three Vidya. Here Vidya is three Vedas, Rig Ved, Yajur Ved and Sam Ved. So, Somapad Utpapa, who drink the Somras and whose sins have been washed away. What they do? Yagya Ristva Mam. Worship me through Yagna. And what they ask for when they do this Yagna? Swarg Gatim Prarthayante. They pray me for the passage to heaven. Here Bhagavan is saying this is because these people worship Devata as Ishvara. This is evident from what Bhagavan has said in Shlok 15 and 16. Jnana yagyen chapanye yajanto mam upasate ekatvam prakatvena bahuda vishwato mukham. And he said, Aham karturaham yagya swadhyaya am shodhvam mantroham mevaj aham nirham hutam. So, what follows this is punya sansar. They punyama sadhya. They with their punya reach at where they reach at with their punya. In the yagna, they reach at Surendra Lokam. The Indra Lok. Surendra. Sur, not Asur. Indra, who is Sur, his Lok they reach. So with Trividya, with doing the worship through three Vedas, according to Vedas, do Yagna. And through that, they pray to Parmeshwar for going to Surendra Lok, to Swarg. Surendra Lok is in Swarg. So, the Devta of this Lok are Sur, not Asur. And there the chief Devta is Indra. Now these Devtas are Sur, so they are what we call civilized or whatever you want to call. They don't create problems. And they are attacked by Asur Devtas over and over again. And they have to fight back. But there too, there is not much peace either. They are always being attacked by Asurs. What they do there, these people, when they go to Surendra Lok, these Jeev, Ashnani, they enjoy the Divyani Dev Bhogan. They enjoy divine pleasures of those Devata. Where they do this? In Divi. Divi means in Swarg. The word Divi and Divyanivi is because it is the locative case of the root word Dev. In this case, the place is Swarg. So, how do they enjoy the pleasures of Swarg? It is not like that Devta gives them something which they enjoy while the Devta is watching them. They enter the Murti of that Devta. Every Devta has a Murti in Brahman. So when they go to Swarg, whichever Devta phal they are getting, they enter the Murti of that particular Devta for the duration of their karma phal. As long as they have earned to go and earn the phal, they stay in that Murti and enjoy the phal of that Devta. Here one thing needs to be understood, that Swarg is the kingdom of Indra Devata. There is his wife called Indrani. She is also a Devata. Then there are his gatekeepers and staff members. All of them are Devatas. Depending on the level of the karma phal, the jeev is placed into that murti. Whatever karma phal is matching with whatever devta is matches with, that's the murti that jeev is placed into. All activities are conducted by that devta because devta has the shakti, the power. And the jeev inside the murti thinks that it is he who is doing it. This is the mindset of that jeev is given to him. That's the mindset he gets. That's part of the karma phal. He thinks he is Indra. If he goes into Indra murti, he thinks he is Indra. This is the way Devta gives the joy to jeev. Devta gives the jeev everything except the power to enter and exit that murti. That is not in the hand of the jeev. Devta administers that phal by taking the jeev, placing into that murti, and then when the time is over, take him out of that murti. These power remain with Devta. Thus, the Devta remains in control. There is always some jeev in every murti of each Devta. Thus, those who worship in this manner become that Devta for a certain duration. What happens next is described in the next shloka.
ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते.
Bhuktva tam swargalokam vishalam. Having enjoyed that vast swargalok, vishal swargalok, kshine punye, when their punya is exhausted, te those jeev martalokam vishanti. They re-enter into the martalok. So, as long as their punya lasts, it's prepaid thing. You pay for it and you go to that murti, they are put in that murti, you enjoy that for that duration, and then when your account runs out, then you are out of there. And Bhagavan says, Evam anu prapannam Trayi dharma. Thus, those who take refuge in these three Vedas for Devta Dharma, all the Vedas are Devta Dharma. Those who perform yajna according to the dharma of these three Vedas, for them these Devta are Ishwar. That's the only way they can do it. The right way for them to do Devta Bhakti, they consider Devta as Ishwar. What happens then? Labhante gata gatam. They attain to the state of going and coming. That is what is called rebirth. They go to the Swargalok and they come out of there. Gata gatam. Kama kama. These are the people who desire the desires of sansar. You see, we take a little stop here and say, every religion, there is going to heaven. Okay? They consider that is moksha. Hindu dharma is also swarga. You used to say, somebody passed away, they say, swarga dham chale gaye. He went to Swargalok. Everybody wants to go to Swarga. Or heaven, like Christians, they all go to heaven. So they only have heaven or hell. So you go to heaven or you go to hell. So highest is heaven. Same thing in Islam. Everywhere, everybody want to go to heaven. So these are all Devta Dharma. And they are all told, they are all described in three Vedas, Rig Ved, Yajurved and Samved. So these Vedic dharma or Vedic yagna only go up to Swarg, the heaven, not beyond it. There is no liberation because we have just seen, Bhagavan said, once the pun ends, they are thrown out of there. You are out of there. You paid for the hotel room for a week, you stay for a week, after that you have check out, get out. You are not welcome there anymore. So, these people to whom the sansar is real, and to them Devta is Ishwar. They consider the sansar is real and Devta to them is Ishwar. Their gyan is limited to having desires and making efforts for their fulfillment. That's the gyan they have. Sansar gyan is you have a desire and you want to fulfill. Some take for example, you think of getting something. I want to have whatever, a car, whatever. Then you start thinking how to get that car. Right? When you get it, for a while you enjoy, then car gets old, now you got to go get another car. So these are the desires and the art or the dharma of fulfilling these desires, they are all sansar. Sansar is made up of just that. They do not know that sansar is separate from Ishwar. Their sight is not, they are not far-sighted enough to see that there is something beyond the sansar. Because in the sansar, change occurs slowly and they cannot understand the change, for they have become part of the sansar and enjoyment of this fruit. So you get, this is what moh is. This is, you get attached to the sansar and what is happening, and everything is moving at a very slow pace, a steady pace, and you enjoy. You say, well, today I'm not feeling good, tomorrow I'll be better. And you live on hope, and it's really not a real thing. It just changes all the time. If anything is real, it will never change. So on the other hand, Ishwar is changeless, immutable. These Agyani Jeev are unable to understand this. In sansar, Jeev remains dependent on Maya or the prapanch. The sharir is made out of prapanch. This body is made out of prapanch. Everything we see is made out of prapanch. And who runs it all? Maya is the primary power which runs everything. In sansar, Jeev is not dependent on Ishwar. He doesn't think of Ishwar. If he doesn't think of Ishwar, he doesn't depend on it. If he is dependent on Ishwar, he will think about Ishwar. He is only dependent on Devata, which are fulfilling his desires, and he prays to them, he does worship, and gets more and more and just keeps going on in the cycle. So, in sansar, Maya, Mohini Shakti. Maya is Mohini Shakti. The Mohini Shakti of Maya exercises its control. Bhagavan has said so in earlier shlok number 12. He described that. From this, it becomes clear that to what is Maya and what it does. These people, not knowing Ishwar, fall prey to the Mohini Shakti of the Maya, and they end up with the Rakshasi or Rajasi or Asuri Prakriti, because Devta only has Rajasi and Asuri Prakriti, Tamasi or Rajasi. Then slowly their punya, karma, dwindles. Whatever punya they have done, it dwindles, just slowly erodes. And they end up in Narak Yoni. So, what I'm trying to say here is that in Devta Bhakti or in the Karma Rahati, You do some punya, you're doing a lot more pap with it. So this all you're doing side by side. And unless you move on to Ishwar side, this will slowly dwindle. Your punya start to dwindle, and it's to a certain point where you go down and down and down, and then the bottom of it is Narak Yoni. So because sansar is always eroding, is going down and down slowly. So if you attached to the sansar, same way we go down. So those who are desirous of various desires, they come and go in and out of Devta Phal and remain bound in the cycle of birth and death. So this is Avagaman. This is how it happens. Now the question arises that if these are the ones tangled in cycle of birth and death, these people are the ones who are entangled into it, who are the ones who do not get bound in this cycle of birth and death? There has to be somebody who is not. So Bhagavan explains this in the next shloka.
Ananyāścintayantō māṁ ye janāః paryupāsate teshāṃ nityābhiyuktānāṃ yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Ye jana, those who chintayanto mam, think of me, or do my smaran. And how they do this? Ananya, with ananya bhav. The bhavna in their heart is ananya bhav, that Ishwar is it. There is nothing like Ishwar. Meaning of me and me alone. What he's saying, that they do bhakti of me and me alone, nobody else. Ananya. Paryupasate, they take refuge in me and do my upasana. Meaning those who stay with me. Upasan. Up means down below, and asan means sit. Sit by the feet of Paramatma. In the Shlok 14, Bhagavan said that those who constantly for their whole life carefully and with resolve do my jap and do namaskar to me, they having become nitya yukta, do my bhakti. These are the ones who are always near me. Those who do Ishwar Bhakti, Bhagavan said that they are always near me. Upasan, they are always with me. I may not be there physically, but they are with me. They are thinking of me and I think of them. Same thing is here. Tesham nitya abhuktanam. They are always in my yoga. Nitya abhukta. Always in my yoga. In other words, they understand me. Here me stands for Ishwar, which is Avyakt. They know you. They have the knowledge, the Gyan of Avyakt Ishwar. They have Parameshwar Gyan. A person without having the Gyan is unequipped to do Ananya Bhakti, because he has no knowledge of what is Anand, what is Ishwar. Unless you know what Ishwar is, what will happen? Anybody shows some chamatkar, you start thinking they are Ishwar. So, Bhagavan says these people are Nitya Yukt and they do my Ananya Bhakti, because it is the Gyan which is to be worshipped. One who has the Ishwar Gyan is Pujya. There are many avatars, but only the Ishwar avatar gives Gyan. Devta also takes avatar. But only Ishwar avatar gives Gyan. Nobody else even has Gyan. They do not know what Ishwar is. We know the Krishna avatar as Ishwar avatar because he gave Gyan to Arjun. When Arjun asked Bhagwan about Brahma, Karma, Adhyatma, only in chapter 8, Shlok 1, only the Ishwar avatar gives this Gyan. Nobody else knows what Brahma is, what is Karma is, what is Adhyatma is. But Bhagavan Krishna gave that Gyan, explained that to Arjun. And that proves that he is Ishwar avatar. Here Bhagavan is saying that those who are engaged in my Ananya Bhakti, what I do for them. They do Ananya Bhakti of mine. What do I do for them? Yog Kshemam Vahamyaham. In today's thinking, Yog Kshem means earning to provide for daily living. We forget that Bhagwan said this in Dwapar Yuga, not today, and interpret it based on today's thoughts. That's all we can think of. How to go out there, earn money, and support ourselves. Here the emphasis is on Yoga and Kshem. Yoga means attain unattainable. The one we cannot getting that. For example, someone has no offspring. For them, children are unattainable. To help them have a child is providing yoga for them to have a child. That's the yoga. Ishwar does this in two ways. One way is by his Leela. Even if one has not earned the right to have children, Ishwar can provide them through his Leela. This is called Leela Dan. Ishwar creates yoga in a second way also. This is called Grahana Dan. In it, the person is to get a child in their next life maybe, later on. But Ishwar can move that into the present life. This can only be done by Ishwar avatar. Therefore, Bhagwan said he creates the yoga. Now, Devta also can fulfill the desire for children or whatever. But the desire the difference is in the Kshem part. They cannot protect it. Because whatever Ishwar gives, he protects. It means to protect. Kshem means to protect. Whatever Ishwar gives, he protects also. First of all, he does not give very easily. But once he gives something, he protects. Take care of him. Because all acts of Ishwar are nitya. This is not true for Devta. So Bhagwan says that those who do my Ananya Bhakti, they ask me for something, I make their yoga and I also protect it. So now everyone does not do Ishwar Bhakti, most do Devta Bhakti. For them, Bhagwan says that in a way they are doing my Bhakti. How is their Bhakti is described in the next shlok.
येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्.
Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, ye api, even those Anya Devta Bhakta, who are Bhakt of other Devta. Now see here the word is Anya. Ishwar is Ananya. That's the difference. So Devta, there are too many Devtas, a lot of Devtas. So they are Anya, others. But Ishwar is Ananya, only one. How they do it? Shraddhan Vita Yajante. Endued with great Shraddha, they do bhakti of those Devata. Te api, they too, Mame Vyajanti, worship me alone. But how is their worship to me? Avidhi Purvakam. By Avidhi, or their worship of mine is indirect. They are worshipping me because I am the Lord of everything, Bhagavan says. Even Devtas are because of me. So, if they worship Devta, they are, in effect, they are worshipping Ishwar, he says. But it is not direct worship. So it is avidhi. Bhagavan says you can come direct to me. You don't need to go through any agent. Here avidhi means that whatever Devta gives to Jeev, which is his bhakt, they cannot give directly. Bhagavan says Devta gets it from me and then gives to the bhakt. We have seen an example of this earlier. It is like when a retail bank, small bank, lends money to someone, it gets the money from the central bank. That's where the money comes from. All these retail banks, they're getting money from Federal Reserve, central bank. They get at a lower rate and make the loan at a higher rate of interest. The difference is kept by the retail bank. That's their profit. Similarly, Devta are permitted to reward their bhakt by fulfilling their desire. However, Devta keeps part for themselves. Whatever reward is there, Devta does not give 100%. They keep part of it for themselves. Therefore, Devta tries to keep Jeev as their bhakt and prevents Jeev to go to Ishwar, bhakti. Because every time somebody does their worship, they get there some phal of that worship. Part of that goes to Devta itself. So more bhakt, Devta gets more. So Devta is not in Devta's interest to let Jeev go to Ishwar bhakti because he loses his income there. In these transactions, Devta acts like a middleman. Therefore, this bhakti is avidhi purvakam. Vidhi nahi. So, now we see that there are two types of approach. One which is indirect approach, which is that of through Devata bhakti, and the other is the direct approach, which is Ishwar bhakti. In Ishwar bhakti, there is no cheating. One not only gets what he has earned, but lot more. As a tip is given to the server at a restaurant. When restaurant you go, the server who serves the food, you pay the bill and on top of that you give a tip. That's how Ishwar pays. He rewards. In Ishwar bhakti, you don't just get what you have earned, Ishwar get happy and give some more. Whereas in Devta bhakti, the Devta cheats the Jeev by not giving 100% what he has earned. The indirect approach is like if you want to see the king. There is an example. And you must go through the proper channels. You go to the gatekeeper, then go to his secretary, then go to whatever levels are. Then in the end, maybe you will get to meet the king for a moment. But the prince can go to king at any time. There is no restriction for prince. Prince can go straight out to the king to meet his father. And directly, he doesn't have to go through anybody. The relationship between Ishwar and Jeev is like that father and son. So, like a prince, Jeev can approach Ishwar directly. He can go to see his father anytime, talk to him directly. Once Jeev understands this fact through Gyan, this only can be understood with Ishwar Gyan. He can approach Ishwar directly. Bhagavan is saying that ask me whatever you want. He will give everything, whatever you want. But he will give only when he knows that you can handle it. Devta doesn't care. You do something, Devta will give it to you. If you get hurt by it later on, that's no problem. He already got his commission. But Ishwar will not give, like father will not give his son a bicycle unless he knows that his son can handle the bicycle and not fall down. Bhagavan makes it very clear that we can go to him directly. However, if you take the other path, you will still be coming to me, but you will take lot longer. Lot longer. But remember, eventually you will have to come to me only. Because he is Gati. That's the goal. That's where every Jeev has to go to him eventually. Because I am the Gati of Jeev. It's told in Shlok 18. Now Bhagavan tells why Devta Bhakti is like this. Avidhi Purvakam. It's in the next Shlok.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatvena tasya vantite.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhu revacha. I am the one who is bhokta and Prabhu, the Lord of all worship, all yagna. He is the bhokta and he is Lord over everything, all kind of yagna. Whatever bhakti anybody does, Bhagavan says, I am the Lord over them. 2. But those Jeev doing Devta Bhakti, Tatvain man abhijananti. They do not know me by Tattva, really what why I am. In other words, they are stuck in the state of Agyan. Hence, Ataschyanti te. They all return to Mrtyaloka. They all return to Mrtyaloka. This is in Shlok 21. What this means to us humans, it means that if through Gyan we know that Ishwar is one who accepts and is the enjoyer of all the yagna, worship, and he is the Lord of entire creation, and that we can approach him directly. Just imagine that. The Lord of whole creation, and we little Jeev can approach him directly through Gyan. You have to have Gyan. Without Gyan, you wouldn't even conceive this idea. Then and only then we will become his Ananya Bhakt. Once you know this fact, the Tattva, then you become his Ananya Bhakt. You cannot do anything but that because you will see, yes, this is the right path to do. To further clarify this, it is like a judge issues a verdict. The Devta administers the fruit of our karma. It is the Devta which decides the karma phal. Once we do a karma, in karma rahati, in sansar, Devta is always watching what you're doing and decides what is the appropriate phal for your action. These are for actions performed under the state of ajnana. The actions performed in the state of jnana are not known to Devta. Devta has no knowledge, no idea what goes on under the where you do the karma through jnana, because Devta does not have that jnana. They are beyond the reach of Devta. Those karma, they are beyond the reach of Devta. And those karma phal, you don't get lep also. The Jeev Sarup does not get tainted, doesn't get dirty. Although Devta decides the karma phal, the decision is under the sovereignty of Ishwar. They are working under the sovereignty of that one Ishwar. Just like in any government, the policeman is going to give the ticket, but that policeman is still working under the sovereignty of the state or federal government. That's the sovereign. Even the President of the United States is acting as president, but the sovereignty of the country is above him. Ishwar is Sarv Vyapak and Sarv Atmak. Therefore, all that happens anywhere is due to and within Ishwar. This is dependent on the picture below. We are going to show you a diagram here which describes the whole universe, one universe, and beyond. So here you will see the depiction of the places of all Devata within each Brahmand. The limit of each Brahmand is the yellow circle. There are innumerable Brahmand distributed within the Maya Sarup, which is colored green. The Maya Sarup is covered by the Brahma Sarup, which is covered by Ishwar Sarup. So Ishwar is the ultimate. Both the Brahma and Ishwar Sarup are colorless. Devata Sarups all have colors: yellow, white, green, black. The Ishwar Sarup pervades all from the outside and within. So Ishwar Sarup is covering the whole thing, everybody, everything that exists, and also through everything. So he is Sarv Atmak. Vyapak means he is covering over us everything, and Atmak is within us, acting, giving us all the powers are because of Ishwar. So Ishwar Sarup pervades from outside and within, and the Sarv Vyapak as well as he is become Sarv Atmak. In other words, Ishwar is Atma also. Sarv Atmak means he is everyone's Atma, whether it's Devta, Jeev, whatever. Atma means if there is no Atma, there is nothing exists. That thing doesn't exist. So all the existence, or everything that exists, is because Ishwar is Atma of that. So we call Ishwar Paramatma. He is Param Atma, the Supreme Spirit. All the Shakti is that of Ishwar Sarup. Every power, Devta gets power, everybody gets power. Sun rises and shines. It's all coming. The power is behind it is Ishwar power. Ishwar Sarup, which sustains all that exists, i.e., Jeev, Devta, and Prapanch, because of Ishwar only. From this, one can also understand that Ishwar Gyan is the supreme and all other Gyans are within it, because he pervades everything. So whatever Gyan there is, it's all within him. Thus, Ishwar is the enjoyer and the Lord over all actions. Not knowing this, the mood engage themselves in the bhakti of others than Ishwar, considering Devta as Ishwar and are subject to the cycle of birth and death. Gata Gatam, as described in Shlok 21. Next, Bhagavan says,
Yanti devavrata devan pitrun yanti prativrataha bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Bhutan yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajino vimam. Devavrata, those who are votaries of devas or those who do devta vrat. Devavrata, who do devta vrat. Here vrat does not mean upavas or fasting. Here vrat means that they have resolved and they do devta bhakti for their entire life. They resolve that this is my Ishwar and I'm gonna do his bhakti. So they are Devvrat. These who follow the Devta principle, Siddhant, what happens to them? Devan Yanti. They go to those particular Devatas. And those Pritrayanti, Prativrata, those who are Pitar, those who worship the Pitar Devatas, they go to Pitars. And Bhutani Yanti, Bhutejya, Bhutani Yanti. Those who worship Prani Bhut, they go to Prani, and similarly Madhyajinopi Mam. Those who, my votaries or my bhakt, to come to me. So whatever entity, if somebody is doing worship or doing bhakti, that's where they go to. Now what does this mean? This means that except for Ishwar Prapti, reaching to the other states, i.e. Devta, Pitar or Bhut, one gets the power of that particular state. If they go to Devta, they get the power of Devta. If they go to Pitars, they get the power of Pitars. If they go to Bhut, they go to get the power of Bhut. When one goes to Devta and he gets the power of that Devta, as we saw in the case of Swarga Prapti, when they go to Swarg, they go to Indramurti or whatever Devta they have earned to go to. Now what is the power of Devta? What is the bal of Devta? What does it mean? Devta which one gets, what is his power? In Devta there is hierarchy, and that is based on their Swarup Shakti, how big their Swarup is and how much power that Swarup has. The smallest Devta is called Yakshini. The power of Yakshini is 10 times that of the power of the most virtuous human being. So, Yaksh, he is higher than Yakshini. So, his powers are 10% more than that of Yakshini. 10 times more. These powers include their Sarup or the sphere of influence. What is Sarup? The sphere of influence, what they cover. And there is sphere, in that sphere, they're in charge. They cannot go beyond that. They only can stay within their sphere of their Sarup. As we saw in the picture, there is yellow ring, then purple and white and all those rings. So those devtas stay within that ring. That's their Swarup. And also they have Sukh. Their Sukh, pleasure, they get pleasure. Their pleasure is limited to their Swarup. Samarth, they got powers and Prakash, etc. So when one does Devta Bhakti, Devvrat, they go to Devta. Those who worship Pitr, they go to Pitr Devta, like Chitrang, Chitrarat, etc. And those who worship Bhut, like some animals, some people worship cows, some animals. And upon death of some people, human beings who had some kind of powers of Devta, people raise them to the level of Bhagwan and worship him. Their worship is accepted by some Devta because they are dead and they were Jeev who have some power, but they are gone. So, like people make different mazar or something like this, okay? And they say, well, this is where this person was, his powers are here. And the person is gone. Jeev doesn't stay there. So they still worship that at that place. There is some devta who comes in there and takes the worship, accepts the worship. Their worship accepted by some devta who then gives the phal of their worship. Bhagavan says that this act of elevating any prani bhut, human, to the level of Ishwar is wrong action, vikalp. And this becomes the cause for their downfall. Further, Bhagavan says that those who perform my bhakti, they come to me. However, it is not as simple as it sounds. It may take many yug. However, anyone who comes to me, to my path, and becomes steadfast and performs my bhakti with ananya bhav, he comes to me after several births. Bhagavan said this in Shlok 45 in chapter 6. Anek janma sansiddhis stato yanti param gatim. Then perfected through many births. So it takes many births to perfect ourselves. We had done so many different actions, so many karm leps are there. We got, our Swarup is so dirty from all these kamna, and bhakti and dislikes, devta bhakti, whatever we have done in our lives, is all there. So it takes many lives to cleanse ourselves before we can go there. So you have heard this bhajan, Maili chadar odh ke kaise paas tumhare aun mein. So we have, our chadar is dirty, our Swarup become dirty. So we cannot go there, we have to cleanse ourselves. So it takes many births. However, once person gets on this path, Ishwar makes sure that he cleanse themselves up. So then perfected through many births, where he cleansed himself of all taints, my bhakt attains param gatim. Param gatim, the highest gati. In other words, he comes to me and becomes one with me. Like a father and son, when they are together, they are one. So, if this process is so long, it takes many births, it takes a long time, what should a person do? Bhagavan says that he should exercise Atma Samarpan. Now this is the key word. For all these lives we come in and going, while we are doing Ishwar Bhakti, we shall perform Atma Samarpan. He should do my bhakti with Atma Samarpan Bhav, meaning totally surrendering himself to me. giving his Atma to Paramatma. This is done by a very few people. However, those who practice this come to my path and stay on it. They do not fall from it. Now the question arises that does it take some special resource as required in Devta Bhakti to do the bhakti with Ananya Bhav? Like in Devta Bhakti, you have to do certain rituals. You do yagna, you need to have a specific wood in the yagna. You have to have ahuti, stuff like this. You have to have bali, all things, sacrifices in there. Those are all in Devta Bhakti. So what is it in Ishwar Bhakti? What do we need? So what do we need in Ishwar Bhakti is explained in the next sloka.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahrutam ashnami prayatatmanah.
Tadam bhaktya prahutam shnanim prayatatmana. Bhagavan says, yeah, whoever is my bhakt, prayachati, offers me, me means me, offers to me, bhaktya, with devotion, shraddha, and it may be just what? It could be just patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, or just simply water. He offers me water. Doesn't need any specific expensive things for Ishwar. He says, if you come and offer to me with shraddha, just a leaf, bring a leaf, or a flower, whatever. But you are doing it from your Atma. You're doing from within from your heart. That's Atma Samarpan. You're doing with your heart. There was a bhakt, a very old lady, very simple lady. He went to Bhagwan with a wild yellow flower. So there are people around him sitting there. He says, they start laughing. What is this wild flower you offering to Bhagwan? Bhagwan said, she is offering me the flower of gold. Bhagwan knew her shraddha, how devoted she was. And he accepted it as offering a flower of gold. So you never know. The main thing is shraddha. And Bhagwan says, you offer these little things, patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, a flower or a fruit, aham, I ashnami, I accept and partake. Whatever you offer, I accept it and partake. Tat, that thing, what you offered. Bhakt pihurtam, devout gift offered by prayatatmana. That pure-minded bhakt of mine who is making effort, prayatatmana, he is making prayatna. For what? To come to me. Bhagavan is saying that any of my bhakt who is making effort to cleanse himself of all taints, practicing Ananya Bhakti, whatever he offers to me with Shraddha, whether it is a leaf, a flower, fruit, or just water, pour some water there. With Shraddha, so I accept and partake his offering. You see, it doesn't need a whole lot to do Ishwar Bhakti. A very poor person can also do Ishwar Bhakti. Who has nothing, he does Ishwar Bhakti. It is his bhavna, his shraddha, his bhav, that what count. If you go there, that yeah, this is Bhagwan, he is my puji. It's my duty to do his worship, and I am doing with my heart whatever I have. He accepts it because he is Sarvatmak. He is within us all. He knows what we think, what we're doing, where we're heading to. So, in contrast to offering required to be made in Devta Bhakti, Ishwar is looking for the love and Shraddha of the person who is offering the thing to him. The offering is just a token. It's not important. It's just a token. In Devta Bhakti, the rules are very strict. And if not adhered to the letter, if not adhered to the letter, the result is pratyavaya. The Devta gives contrary result. Bhagavan Krishna said, in my bhakti, pratyavayo na vidyate. There is no pratyavaya. Once you do whatever you do in whatever way you can do for Ishwar, he accepts it. Main thing is Shraddha Bhav. Not so in Ishwar Bhakti. Here primary offering is Atma Samarpan. He is looking for your bhav, your Atma Samarpan bhav. If you give him your Atma, yourself, that's what he wants. He doesn't want any of these materialistic things. Giving oneself to Paramatma with Shraddha. Next, Bhagavan is telling how one can accomplish this. How to do Atma Samarpan in the next shloka.
Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam.
Kaunteya, Arjun, हे कुंती पुत्र, therefore, yet, whatever karoshi, whatever you do, yet ashnasi, whatever you eat, yet juhoshi, whatever you offer in yagna, whatever offerings you make, yet dadasi, dadasi yet, he says whatever dan you give, and yet tapasyasi, whatever austerity you perform, you practice. Those who are engaged in bhakti, they do all the above in daily life, Bhagavan says. Everybody does these things. So, tat karushva madarpanam. But do these as an offering unto me. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever dan you give, whatever tap you do, you practice, do it all in my name, for me. Arpan, give it to me before you start doing it. So you say Krishna Arpan, and then you start. But do these offering as offering unto me. This way, we will go through our daily life always remembering Ishwar. See what happens here? When you practice this Atma Samarpan, what are you doing? Your daily life, you're living a daily life. Eating, going to work, and doing some tap, giving down, everything. But do it everything in His name, for Him. So you go through your life like a normal human being, but whatever you are doing, you are giving it to Paramatma first. And then when you get whatever you do, it becomes his prasad. He's happy, he becomes happy that you're doing it for him. You're doing his bhakti. And that is very important. That's how you practice Atma Samarpan. So, if you do this, then what will happen? That is given in next slok.
शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्षसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि.
Evam. In this way, which way? Doing your daily life, running your daily life, and offering everything to Paramatma. In this way, Sannyas Yoga Yuktatma. What will happen? The Atma endued with the Sannyas Yoga, in which all karmas are offered to me. So when you are doing this, you are practicing sannyas. You're giving everything to Ishwar first. Okay? So you become sannyas yog yukt. That Atma is sannyas yog yukt. The Atma becomes sannyasi. He is not doing for himself. He's eating food so to offer to Paramatma and then partake to live a life. So we can do worship more. Live and do worship. He breathes for him. He does everything. He gives dan to somebody, gives in his name. So, what happens? Mokshase. He shall be freed. Karma bandhane. Whatever karma he did, he shall be freed from the bondage of that karma. That dan, that food you eat, everything is karma. But if you do it in his name, thinking of him as his bhakt, with shraddha, there is no bandhan in that karma. Because you're doing for him and he is the first, he takes it first. And then you get it. You see? You get his prasad. It's not like you're getting the fruit of your action. He is giving it to you. So there is no karma bandhan. Shubha Shubh Phalai Reva. The good as well as the evil from the karma phal. Whatever karma you did has good also and also evil. Whatever you did. And vimukta, thus liberated. Mamu Pashyasi, thou shalt come unto me. So you practice Atma Samarpan in this way through your daily life, living like a human being, normal human being, doing your chores. Eventually, you cleanse yourself and Bhagavan says, you will come to me. Now we'll take an example of this. Suppose we give to someone money, okay, or some help as dan. Everybody likes to give dan, don't they? It's a good thing to do. It's punya. Give dan, give a poor guy, give it to him something. What will we get from this action? Think about it. We give dan, charity, right? Guy standing on the road, he's homeless, he's got a little bored, I'm hungry. You give him money. Feel sorry for the person, you give him money. You consider it as a good action. Okay? The conventional thinking is that this will result in punya. That's what everybody thinks. However, it is not so. It is like whatever you give, even as dan, that will help the life of the receiver. Okay? You gave some money thinking that it will help the person. And you then become nimit or an instrument of it because you support it. So you become part of it. Now, if that person uses the gift to do something which is not good, the Devta will give the fruit of that action to you also. According to the laws today, if a person goes to a bar and gets drunk, then hurts or murders somebody, the lawyers will file a suit against the bar also. Why did you serve the drink to him? Right? Same way, when you give dawn to somebody, you don't know who that person is, what he's going to do. Whatever he does, you see, know this, that Devta is watching what you're doing. You're giving dawn, Devta is watching. And you gave dawn, and he did something awful. Now you become part of it. You done something good, you become part of that too. Here also the Devta watches, you give that money to that person, you gave the money and left. You gave the money and left, say, I did a great thing today. But the Devta will give the fruit of that action to you also, since you became nimit in that action. You didn't do the action, but you became nimit. You became an instrument. This is called adrasht, or which is not seen. We don't see this happening, but it is happening all the time. So we don't see it happening, but it did happen. If the person who receives the daan did some virtuous act, you too will get party. You too will be the party of that phal. Here Bhagavan is telling Arjuna that if you will do the action in my name with Krishna Arpan Bhav, then you will not be involved in that action. Not even nimit. Because you gave it to me. In my name. You gave to somebody, but in my name. As if I am giving to him, Bhagavan says. You are not giving. You gave to him in my name. So, whatever, you did not even become nimit in that case. Therefore, Bhagavan is saying that whatever it is that you do it as tat karusha madarpanam. Do it as offering to me in my name. Then shubha shubh phalai revam. Whatever the fruit of that action is shubh or ashubh, good or evil, moksha se karma bandhine. You will not be subject to the bondage of that karma, whether it's shubh or ashubh, because you have to clean yourself from shubh as well as ashubh. See, here Bhagavan is telling so clearly, this is what you should do. But do it as my Ananya Bhakt. You cannot offer unless you are doing my bhakti. You don't even know who is. So, sannyas yog yuktatma. In this way, coming into this nishkam karma yoga, because there is no kamna, you didn't have any kamna, you just gave it to Paramatma. So, in this nishkam karma yoga, vimukta mapu pashasi, and thus liberated, thou shalt come unto me. How clear it is. He gives the whole process what you should do to come to me. Here Bhagavan has told about himself. He said that if there is anything in the sansar, it is me. Bhagavan said same thing in chapter 8. But there he did not talk about himself. In chapter 8, he elaborated on the creation, its limit or maryada, and the actions of prani in the sansar. He also told about Brahma, about Adhyatma. He said that all this is, whatever it is, I do, and the purpose of the Srishti is for the liberation of Jeev or Jeevadhar. This whole creation is, the sole purpose of the creation is to do Jeev Uddhar. And Paramatma creates this creation for that sole purpose. In this chapter, Bhagavan said that there are different forms of Jivodhar. Okay? One is kshanik, momentary uddhar, where one rises above for a short time. This is also uddhar. Uddhar means you risen yourself above something, urd. So in some cases, it's kshanik uddhar, or momentarily, for a very short time, you rise. The meaning of uddhar is to elevate yourself or to rise above. That's what the meaning of uddhar is. Bhagavan had described three types of uddhar in Gita. One is adi bhautik. Bhautik means materialistic. So here the bhav is that we rise above others in the materialistic viewpoint. So that's adi bhautik uddhar. Want to be above everybody because you have more material, more things, or you are rich or whatever. So that is also your uddhar from poverty to riches. So adi bhautik. So here the bhav is that we rise above others in materialistic viewpoint. The second is adi daivik. And the third is adhyatmik. So there are three kinds of uddhars. The first step is adi bhautik. First of all, everybody goes in the path of adi bhautik, materialistic things. Like in ancient days, kings have all the materials, okay? But then they got tired of it and they got into jnana. They left whole kingdom, went to jungle to some rishi and learned jnana. So they left that adi bhautik. They already risen above, but they left it. So that's the first step. Most make effort in this manner because we can see the bhoot. We can touch the thing, we can see, we can possess things. Like living in a mansion, accumulating wealth. So most perform comes to rise with this viewpoint, adi bhautik viewpoint. That's how everybody does karma like that. However, these materialistic things remain only in the bhautik existence, meaning it remains in sansar. Then and when you leave the sansar, they don't go with, because they are bhautik. And you go out as a spirit. Then some practice adi daivik karma, with which they rise to the level of devata. Just like we saw those who go to Swarg. They try to go to Swarg, where they enjoy the divine bhog, but not the adhyatmik. That's not adhyatmik uddhar. Their viewpoint is not adhyatmik. That's adi daivik. With adhyatmic viewpoint, where Atma rises to level of Paramatma, that is adhyatmik uddhar. So we saw three kinds of uddhars. Adi bhautik, materialistic, way to get above. Second is Adidaivik, you become Devta, you go to Devtas. And the third is Adhyatmik, where your Atma becomes one with Paramatma. Bhagavan said that one who come to me, for him the path is Atma Samarpan. That is the path, as we have seen just a little bit earlier. Materialistic things are of no use there. Going to Ishwar, materialistic things don't mean anything, because what we saw here, Bhagavan said, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Main thing is Shraddha, your Atma Samarpan. That's what he's looking for. Not materialistic thing. You can have all the gold and all this, whatever you have. He doesn't care for all that. Why? In Gita it is said, that is like dirt. It's all Khanij Padarth. It comes from dirt. It's all dirt. Whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whatever it is, whether it's all dirt. In view of a Jnani. Jnani thinks, some loshtanj kanchanam. He says both of them. Lost means matti or earth, dirt, and kanchan, to him they are the same. So in Atma Samarpan we can offer a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or making offering of some water, but we do this through bhakti. In it, whatever we do, we eat, any yagna dan we perform, all is done in the name of Parameshwar. He made it really simple, didn't he? It's a very simple way to go. Live your life in a way that you are giving everything through, offering everything to Paramatma. So, in the other two, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, we offer some of our materialistic possessions, don't we? Adi Bhautik and Adi Daivik, we have to make offering of our materialistic possessions. But here we offer ourselves to Paramatma. Big difference. For Adhyatmik Uddhar, Atma is involved. The Atma Samarpan Bhav means that we ourselves and everything belongs to Paramatma. Everything that there is belongs to Paramatma and nobody else. Thus no action will bind us. We will be in the yoga of sannyas or tyag. Sannyas yoga yukt means you are in the yoga of tyag, giving things, offering things. Knowing that it's not yours. It all belongs to Paramatma. Tera tujhko arpan. Everybody sings that bhajan. But does anybody do it? Very few people do that. And therefore our karma becomes akarma, as if we did not perform any karma. And we will live in the sansar as if we are not living in it. When you live this way, then you are in sansar as if you are not living in it. Now Bhagavan is going deeper into this thing in the next two shlokas.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham.
Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyasti na priya. Let us try to understand as to what Bhagavan is trying to say here. He's saying that if you think that to get to Paramatma, who is the highest, you need a recommendation of an accomplished Jnani, Sifarish. If you think that you need recommendation from somebody to come to me, The person who has reached to high level, that is not true. You don't need anybody's recommendation, Bhagavan says. You do not need anyone's recommendation to get to me. You can approach me directly, Bhagavan says. Whatever is the state of a person, samoham sarva bhuteshu. For each and every prani, there is some bhav in me. I see everyone as equal. Whether he's rich, poor, black, white, green, whatever. To him, why is equal? Because Paramatma is not looking at our body. He is looking at our Atma. Directly there. So, Atma is same in every one of us. There is no difference. The difference is the outer garb. That's the difference. And the thinking which comes with it. And it's all karma phal, which Devta has given us. But inside, when you go, it's all Jeev is same. It's like if you take the skin off of somebody's body, all bodies are same, aren't they? The skeleton is same in everybody. Right? So Bhagavan said, to me, everyone is same. I look at everyone as same. So you don't need recommendation from some big jnani or some accomplished person, siddha person. This means that it does not matter if a person is a Brahmin, Kshatri, he can reach me but not a Shudra. In Hindu Dharma, the belief is Brahman and Kshatri can get Gyan and go to Paramatma, but Shudra cannot go to temple even. Or a man can reach, but not a woman. He says, there is belief also, the man can get to Paramatma, but woman cannot go to Paramatma. Women are not allowed to have Gyan. And it's true in every religion. Christianity, Hindu, Buddhist, whatever, it's true in every religion. It matters not what you look like, black, white, brown, short, tall. I have some bhav for all. Everyone is equal to me, Bhagavan says. In Hindu Dharma, it is said that Ram ate bare fruit of Shabri, which she tasted before giving it to Ram. Right? And Ram did her uddhar. That's what Hindu Dharma said, right? Now, Shabri was not name of that woman. Everybody thinks Shabri was that woman's name, right? Shabri is a sect of Bhil and is considered lower than Shudra. Okay? They are Shabar. This is the sect of Bhil called Shabar. And the woman there, Shabri. And they are considered as lowest of the low. This woman belonged to the Shabar sect and had no knowledge as how to offer food to Bhagavan. She had no knowledge. Nobody knew. I mean, they're not taught all these things. She brought bear for Ram and tasted them to make sure that they were sweet. Before she offered to him. In Mahabharata, so this is the bhav of the bhakt. In Mahabharata, Bhagavan Krishna accepted the food of Vidur over Duryodhana. So Bhagavan says, everybody is same to me. Whosoever offers me the Shraddha and Bhakti, I accept from everybody. So Bhagavan looks at our Bhakti Bhav. Therefore, Bhagavan says that I am same for all prani. Sambhav. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. And name dveshtis na priya. There is none hateful or dear to me. He doesn't hate anybody or nobody is dear to him. Everybody is same. This emotion of rag and dvesh is only in sansar. Sansar runs on rag and dvesh. You like something or you don't like something. You hate something. Right? That's what sansar is. So it's not in Paramatma. Paramatma has no rag or dvesh, no liking or dislike for anybody. So Bhagavan says, Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya. But those who worship me with bhakti, meaning the ananya bhakti, mai te teshu chapyaham. They are in me and I am in them. See? How close it can be. Because they do my bhakti with Atma Samarpan Bhav. They leave all to me. So they are actively present in me and I in them. This litmus test or kasoti for our love for Ishwar. Bhakti. Ishwar is Sarvagya. He knows it all. Next, Bhagavan says, what happens to this bhakt?
Api chet suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhag sadhureva samantavyaha samyak vyavasito hi saha.
Api chet durachara. Api saduracharam. Even a very wicked person, durachari, chet bhajanti mam, abhijan, ananya bhakti, chet bhajante ananya bhag. If he does my bhakti with ananya bhav, Bhagavan is saying that if a person does my bhakti, chet bhajte mam ananya bhag. If he does my bhakti with ananya bhav, with devotion to no one else, just me, sadhureva samantavya. He should be regarded as saint. The person who does my ananya bhakti, Bhagavan says, he should be regarded as a saint. Sadhu. Because samyak vyavastito hisa. He has resolved to be on the right, means samyak means the right path, vyavasaya. He has come on the right path now. So whatever he has done, the purpose of this Srishti is to liberate Jeev from sansar and to be one with Ishwar. Now when a person comes on the right path, which is the path of Ishwar, his past is negated. Don't look at that person as to what he was before. You look him as a sadhu, as a saint. Just like Valmiki. Valmiki has done a lot of robbing and things like that. But when he changed, he became sadhu. So at the present time, he is what he is. That's what you know. What his past is doesn't matter. So in chapter 8, Bhagavan said that the karma is bhut bhav udbhav karo. This is what Ishwar does. This is the correct action for us all. And we can accomplish this with the tool of Ananya Bhakti. Bhut bhav udbhav karo means our bhavna should rise above. And how can we do that? With Ananya Bhakti. Bhagavan gave that tool to us. This is the correct action for us all, and we can accomplish with Ananya Bhakti. When one steps up to the pathway of Ishwar, you should forget what he was before. Now Bhagavan tells us as to what happens to such a person in the next shloka.
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Soon that person becomes dharmatma, a virtuous person. He may be whatever in the past, but now he became sadhu. So he becomes dharmatma. And shashvata janti nigachati. He attains that eternal shanti. Okay? Kaunteya pratijanihi. Arjun, I proclaim boldly, know it for certain, that name bhakt pranashyati. That though that person, one who is my bhakt, is never destroyed. He cannot be destroyed by anything. Know it that I never let my bhakt fall, like those who achieve swarg must fall when their punya ends. In this shlok, next shlok, Bhagavan further emphasizes this.
मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य येऽपि स्युः पापयोनयः स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्राः तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम्.
Parth. Arjun, Mahi Parth Vyapashrita. Taking shelter only in me. Ashray. Shelter in me only. Yepi Syu Pap Yonah. Those who are in their Pap Yoni. Those who are in their Pap Yoni, they also Yanti Param Gatim. They attain to Param Gati. And what are these Pap Yoni? According to the conventional wisdom, Istriyo Vaishyasta Shudrapi. They say the Pap Yoni is, if you read any of the interpretation in Gita, they say the Pap Yoni is women, Vaishya, and even the Shudra. They consider them as Pap Yoni. This is the meaning which has been done by most people. However, this is wrong. They don't have the Gyan. This is wrong. Meaning, because Pap Yoni are those which are below human forms. They are called Pap Yoni. Animals, birds, bacteria, earthworm, whatever. They are Pap Yoni. There are Jeev in these Yoni also. They are experiencing the bhog of their Pap Karma. Bhagavan is saying that coming in contact with me, Jeev in these Yoni, even these Pap Yoni, move towards Uddhar. If they even come in contact with me, they will also. Not the Pap Yoni is not Striya, Vaishya, Shudra. Only Brahman, Kshatriya is a Punya Yoni. That's not true. He says, Bhagavan says, even they will get to dhar if they come in contact. Like the cows, when Bhagavan Krishna became cow herder. Right? And those cows he will take out and they will stare at him. Right? They won't eat anything, they'll stay sitting and staring. They had a love within them for Paramatma. And they too will come to the path of Uddhar. So they are in Pap Yoni, but they can come to Uddhar. So Bhagavan is saying that taking my ashray, see those cows were depending on Bhagavan there. He is the cow herder. So whatever he goes, he does, they go with him. Taking my ashray, taking refuge in me, depending on me. Those in the Pap Yoni, and now see the women separate now. Women, Vaishya and even Shudra attain to Paramgati. That's the correct answer, correct meaning. Everyone can attain to Paramgati. A good example is those cows like we talked about. So Bhagavan said this because that in that era when he was giving the Gita Gyan, those who had Gyan could do bhakti, and Gyan of Vedas was the Brahman who had that Gyan, Brahman, and the Kshatri who got it from them. Mainly the Gyan was with Brahmans, Dvedi, Trivedi. And the Kshatris listened to them and they got Gyan through that, because more Kshatris were kings. Bhagavan says that through my Ananya Bhakti, anyone can attain the Paramgati. It's not that Brahman or Kshatri can get it all, but anybody can get Paramgati. Everybody is same to me. In the next slok, Bhagavan says,
Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshayasthatha anityam sukham lokam imam prapya bhajaswamam.
Punah Kim. Then what else is there to say? When Punya Brahman, the holy Brahman, Bhakta, Tatha Rajarshi. So Punya Brahman, the holy Brahman, Bhakt, and Rajarshi, royal sages, all these having taken refuge in me, they all came to me, attained to Paramgatim. Therefore, Imam Lokam Prapya, having obtained this lok means the human body. This is the lok for us. Mrityu lok or Manushya lok. So when you attain the human body, you are in Manushya lok. So Bhagavan says that obtain this lok, when you obtain this lok or human body, then anitya asukham, transient without any joy. This body is what? It's transient body. It is there today, it won't be later on, someday. It's transient and asukham. There is no sukh in it. You get up in the morning, you pain and whatever. You get hungry, you have to eat. There is no sukh in this body. Just a little bit, maybe sometime. But, so, Mam Bhajasva, coming into this human body, this lok, you worship me only. Yes, so here Bhagavan is saying clearly that holy Brahman, Bhakt and Rajarshi or the royal sages having Gyan can come to me through the path of Gyan. But those who do not have the Gyan, okay, It's important. Those who do not have the Gyan, by taking shelter in me only, ashray, just depending on me only, can come to me through bhakti. How simple it is. Knowing that this sansar is transient and joyless, and Paramatma can be attained through only his bhakti. In the end, even the jnani must do bhakti. Okay? So bhakti is the key. Gyan is fine, but even jnani has to perform bhakti. Thus Bhagavan concluded by saying, next slok,
मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि युक्त्वैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः.
Manmana bhav. Put your mind in me. Fill your mind with me. Mad bhakta. Leaving everyone else, become my bhakt. Madhyaji. Worship me, Bhagavan says. According to vidhi. Not avidhi. Vidhi, according to vidhi. With pure heart, as described in slok 23. You do my worship with pure heart, no malice towards anybody. Because for me, everyone is the same. So when you do bhakti and you happen to have malice for somebody, you cannot do bhakti. So you have to purify your thought. No malice towards anybody. Somebody may have done something bad to you. Forget about it. At that time, say, Ishwar will take care of all this. I don't worry about it. Mam namaskuru. Bow down to me. Do pranam only to me. Evam. In this way, Atmanam, your Atma, yuktva, attached to me, attached with me. It will get attached to Paramatma. Mat parayana, fully devoted and become steadfast in me. What will happen to you? Mam ev ashesi. You shall come to me only. Now that is Bhagavan's word to Arjuna. Okay? He gave his word to Arjuna this way. Here Bhagavan has described and shown his sovereignty over the creation of the sansar. So for all humans, only Ishwar is to be worshipped. All other worships are avidhi. Now I would like to summarize by making few points which we must remember. Number one, there is one Ishwar, Paramatma, Parameshwar, who is Sarva Vyapak, Sarva Atmak, meaning that he is Atma of us all that exists. All power, all Shakti comes from him only. He is the big generator of the power, which always giving power to everybody. Number two, this creation has the sole purpose, which is to elevate the bhav of all prani bhut. Bhut bhav udbhav karo. So, everything in the creation revolves around Jivatma. It's made for Jeev's Uddhar. That's all it's made for. So everything that all Devata, all Shakti, they're all involved in doing that process. Number three, Parmeshwar gives Gyan to Jivatma so he can perform karma which will bring him to Ishwar. But number four, Jivatma, due to ignorance or avidya, not knowing Paramatma, considers Devata as Paramatma and he does Devata karma. This got him tangled into the cycle of birth and death, because to get to the fruit of Devata, karma is given through the body, and which is made up of prapanch. So the karma phal is administered through the body, which is made up of prapanch. Prapanch, it never stays the same all the time. It changes, it slowly erodes, and it ends after a certain time. At the end of karma phal, the prapanch, this body, will be of no use. The cycle of next birth and the death keeps going on and on and on. Number 5, Devta has been given the power to instigate Jivatma to do karma and then decide the karma phal and administer it to Jivatma. That power Devta has been given by Ishwar. Devta gets all her power from Paramatma and follows the rule completely. Devta never wavers. Exactly what's supposed to do, the way it's supposed to do, that's what Devta does. Very knowledgeable and has samarth to do that. Now we come to karma. Karma is done in 3 steps. What are these? Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. So first there is thought which arises in our mind. Then we discuss and reflect on it, Vacha, as to how to do it. And then the act is accomplished in a physical manner. Now the karma is assigned a karma phal. Every karma that you do, the karma phal is assigned to it. When the turn for its administration comes, the Devta does it, gives the phal. In the last slok, Bhagavan said, Man mana bhav. Fill your mind with me or give your mind to me. Now once we do that, our mind will get thoughts pertaining to Ishwar Gyan only. Once you give your man to Paramatma, which karma starts from man. So what will happen? All the karma will be Ishwar karma. See, that's the key here. That's Atma Samarpan. Give your mind to Ishwar. Fill your mind with Ishwar Bhakti. The Devta now gets sidelined. Devta doesn't know what's going on. So he gets sidelined. Pertaining to Ishwar Gyan. Okay, he has no knowledge. The Devta now gets sidelined and we travel on the path leading to Paramatma. Nobody can stop us then. Thus, the purpose of the creation is fulfilled and eventually Jivatma becomes one with Paramatma. Ittasati Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Supnasashu Brahma Vidyayam Yog Shastre Shri Krishna Arpan Samvade Rajaguhya Yogo Nam Navamo Adhyaya Shri Krishna.